justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to this December 19th Board of Commissioners meeting. The first item of business is public comment. Anyone here for it? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Brett Barton with the new lease agreement. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning. I've reviewed the lease. I think Tom has. I think Jordan, you have too. I did bring it to my board about a week ago. There's no issues on that. It's going to be a 2-year lease. Does have a $200 a month increase. Only thing that we asked, and I did discuss it with Louis Evans, was striking paragraph 14, the parking issue. He's willing to do that. Just initial that, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Any questions?
questions, gentlemen?
I have none.
Okay.
Good.
Entertain a motion to accept the new lease with Louis Evans.
Motion to accept the lease.
Second.
All right, motion carries
Thank you.
3-0. Yep. You said paragraph 14. Okay. Next up is Stephanie Harshbarger with a voice maintenance agreement amendment. Good morning.
Hi, I'm just here, we had our agreement actually signed this summer, July 6th. Commissioner Brewer signed it and approved it. They came back just recently with an addendum so that they wouldn't have to, they would just renew it like on a continual basis. So if we would need to terminate, we'd have to just do something in writing, but it's just an automatic renewal system.
Any questions?
None.
Okay.
Pretty common.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the addendum 1 to the software lease agreement with Voice Systems.
So moved.
Second.
All right,
Thank you.
motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to get this signed. Okay. I'll sign that one after. Karen Crum had something come up, so she won't be here. We'll keep moving. We have Rusty Good with the Turtle Hill subdivision. Good morning, Rusty. I gotta get it.
Okay. I'm Rusty Good. I'm here with Brandon Huffer, and we're owners of Turtle Hill subdivision. Last fall, we met with Liz and Rick Campbell out at the subdivision, and we were wanting to see about getting the road dedicated to the county. They made certain recommendations that, well, they felt like they needed from us in order to get you guys to approve it. And I'm just here to see if you guys are willing to accept it under those terms.
So Jordan and I have had conversations about this, but in essence, there were some items that needed to be repaired. This road has been there a hot minute, and it was originally done as a private street. But as time has changed with the developers, the ability to continue to maintain that is going to be more limited. So they're wanting to dedicate that. There's 14 homes that are served by that, so it is a road with some length. There's a cul-de-sac at the end. Everything does meet the subdivision ordinance, but there was some cracking, and Rick can speak more to that side of it if you have questions about the specifics. They have agreed to pay to chip and seal and repair those cracks and bring that up to standard. However, when they got the quote from Central Paving is doing work for the county as well in the spring nearby, and they would like to do both things simultaneously instead of dividing them up, especially given the time of year. So my recommendation, if the commissioners are willing to entertain a dedication, is that either you move to have our office and Tom work with the developer for dedication paperwork that requires some form of bonding, so that if they don't pave it in the spring, we're holding the money necessary to pay for it without it falling upon the taxpayers. Or you could choose to wait to actually accept the dedication until after it's done, but I think the developer would like some indication of your will or direction so that he knows if he's moving forward that it's going to work out.
Okay. Any questions, guys?
Where is Turtle Hill subdivision?
600 West, just north of Mulberry Jefferson Road.
Okay. I just looked back, did you guys get anything about this prior to the meeting? Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything else to say.
Commissioner Weaver, you have anything?
Well, I'd like to hear Rick what kind of additions we're gonna have to do to the road to bring it up to our standards. I've not seen it, so.
Here's the,
Thank you.
that's the subdivision. It's
Okay.
I'd just like to have it chip sealed, and if they're willing to pay for the oil, we'll pay for the stone. And it needs to be crack sealed also. And I'll go ahead and I'll even throw that out there. It will crack sealed if they'll pay for the oil.
Okay.
So your recommendation is,
I go ahead and move forward. It's not any different than any other housing addition.
and Liz, your recommendation?
I would recommend also, in my opinion, it's always better for these to be dedicated. If this subdivision had come through when I was director, I would have pushed strongly for it either to be dedicated or have a proper mechanism for financial guarantees over time. But this is older, so it came in before me. It's up to the commissioners what they want to do on the financial package. If this had been dedicated, they would have been required to do the street at their expense before dedication.
Well, I think I would be on board for them to pay for the chip and seal. And then I understand the logistics of who Central Paving, that they take care of it. So I think we would want the bond and then just make sure that gets Rick's approval and stamp before we sign off on it, that he's good with the product that's been put out there, and we could move forward.
I personally would agree to that.
So,
I'm not opposed to it, and I take Rick's the expert, and I'll take his recommendation and go with it. My only question is every subdivision in Clinton County, are all their streets dedicated to us, and do we remove snow?
A significant number are. There is one
Okay.
south of Rossville with 5 homes that is a private street. However, there've been no challenges up there so far.
Okay.
But the majority of them do. If it's a major subdivision, it gets dedicated, because the problem becomes over time, if
Well,
there's
most
not a
homeowners
mechanism to
yeah.
pay for it.
Right. No, I
You
get it.
know, then,
Yeah.
but it also has to be put in, to standards, and usually gets inspected up front, with the subdivision development.
Okay.
Rusty, is there plans to expand this subdivision?
No, there's.
No, so,
It's-
okay.
Once, I think we have 4 lots yet left to sell, and once they're sold, then it's exhausted.
Okay.
So,
The topography would really not allow for it.
no, it's,
Either. Gotcha.
it's used, it's designed, it's doing what it was designed to be.
Okay. All right.
What type of bond are you talking about? And is there really do we really need to do a bond if you guys are willing to take it and Rick inspects it when we're done?
Well, the concern is that if we don't do the bond and something happens between now and when it gets finished to his liking, that the county has to pay for it versus having the developer pay for it. So the bond's in place to make sure that if you would, I know you're not going to skip town, but I'm going to
Oh.
use that term. If you would skip town, then
Okay.
the county's not left holding the bag to pay for it
Well,
after
then
the
you wouldn't
dedication.
take it over, is the way I see it, I guess.
So you would prefer.
Well, we would have already accepted the dedication, so that's what we're kind of
Okay,
accepting the dedication with this contingency that there's a bond in place. Otherwise, we accept it and you can walk away, and now we have to finish it
so
out.
this is a maintenance bond or
I believe it
a
would be a performance bond.
Probably performance
But
bond.
Jay and Tom, in that language, that's something we'd need to work out, along with getting a dedication ordinance put together and then bring back. for-
Okay,
So maybe our steps, we could put that in place, work on that. You could review it, work through the details, and then, either way, it has to come back to us to adopt the ordinance. So there's some time
Okay.
to kind of figure it out. I think
Right.
what we're saying, I don't necessarily know that we need a motion today, but I think we're willing to consider this, assuming we get all the proper stuff aligned.
okay, because I don't want to sign a proposal to do this and not have
Not have
a shot to get.
assurance that we're gonna
So,
get it
Yeah.
dedicated. Yeah, I totally
So-
get that.
Okay,
No, I don't think anybody's against it. I think we're all for it. I think we just need to make sure we
Okay.
get all the
originally,
I's
that
dotted.
was the intent, to
Sure.
dedicate this back to
Well,
the.
I mean, those people are paying
county.
tax for roads
Yes.
just like the rest of us, so.
Yes, and we weren't in it for the long term.
Right, right.
Maintaining it,
Yep.
so, it's just one of those things that got left out, and time moved on. So.
Yeah, but actually, I think you did it the right way. You developed it, built the road,
Now it's there.
and then asked us to take it over. A lot of times we get asked to do things
Yeah.
in the reverse order, so,
Yeah.
so I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll have them put the legal stuff, get a hold of you, we can work through it,
Yep.
and then it'll eventually.
Liz will get it to
yeah.
us and we'll go
We'll
from there.
loop you into communication.
Yep.
You good?
Tom and Jay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Next, we have Rodney Wan, with a couple items. Request for funding to build out staff offices as well as a food ordinance. Morning, Rodney.
Morning, gentlemen. I don't believe we got an article in place for that first item. I know that Tom and I were talking about it. I do have the other party looking at trying to put something together as far as that agreement you require, but, so I think at this point, unless you just want to go on good faith that we're going to get it taken care of, we still would have to put it before the Health Communities Board as well for
Yeah.
them to approve, so.
Well, how about just run through what you want to do and why you
Sure,
want to do it?
sure. We had a room that's 25 by about 13. It was our storeroom, and we are in the process of interviewing new employees for this coming year in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I was trying to put in place to move that storeroom out and then break it down into 2 separate offices. So that would require 2 walls, 2 finished doors, a bit of electrical work just to make sure that, it's split up evenly. So that's all we were asking to do at this point. So it was about just at or a little over 5,000. So it kind of hit your threshold of your proposal for
Procurement.
procurements, yeah.
So what we had talked about, Rodney has multiple things going on. Longer term is figuring out to expansion of the current building that the Healthy Community owns. And so the conversation led us to, if we're going to invest this money into upgrading the facility, making the storage closet into office space, let's get an agreement in place that gives us like the first right of refusal to purchase that if it ever would come up for sale. So that's what he's referencing.
And I've been in those discussions. I don't, like I say, Tom and I have talked a little bit about it. I've gotten off a template or 2 from the almighty internet that everybody was kind of looking at. But I think, and I've talked to the other parties as well, Healthy Communities, and I don't see that there's any issue. We just need to get the
Get
2 or
it,
3
okay.
page document together. That would cover as well any additionals that we look at in the future too, so.
And to kind of give them a little more context, you worked on getting multiple quotes, but you've
Yes.
had a challenge of
Yeah,
people
unbelievably.
responding.
Yeah, and I find that I had it out. I probably called 4 or 5 people. I didn't get hardly any calls back except the one individual quote that came back immediately. And then, I started to think they're not going to even call you back when you ask for a quote. That might be somebody you don't want to necessarily take on as a person you're going to take for the work anyway. So it's been tough. I know personally I've been looking for contractors for things, and it's been tough too, so.
So this is for the building at 1234
Yes,
Roswell Avenue,
yes.
and we rent right there, correct?
We do rent,
Actually,
yes.
we help make the payment on the
Yes.
building for Healthy Communities. Okay.
That's correct.
To the tune of it's pretty expensive.
It's what, for the yearly rent?
Yeah.
It's about 12 or 14,
Thought it was
somewhere in
like
that.
25.
No, it's about 14,000 right now that we pay.
So, Tom, is it possible, we have an agreement with them for that, right?
For the lease, a lease agreement?
Yes, I
We
remember
would-
we signed it.
Yeah.
We would be taking, basically what we'd be asking for is a right of first refusal on the property that would get recorded, so that way in the future, if they ever sold it, it would pop up in the recorder's office,
Right.
then we'd have that right.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but that way we're out this money so why don't we amend that agreement that on the tail end of the lease, if we choose not to opt back in or not buy the building, that we get reimbursed for the upgrades that we're making?
Okay. I can ask that and make sure to see if we can't include that in there then.
Does that sound unreasonable?
As long as we have some level of protection, so either direction.
I'll go back and start
Okay.
in on that then, sure. So then I also have the food ordinance, which I believe I at least
Yep.
forwarded to you gentlemen for review. I also have copies here if you'd like, so. basically piggybacked off of the state code since 2004 when I was first hired into the health department. Several things have changed over 20-some years, of which our current food inspector that we just recently hired included those items that would have been things that have come up since 2004, be it food trucks, be it vending machines, micro markets, home-based vendors, cottage bed and breakfasts. So a lot of those things that weren't individually covered in the state code, he's included in what's the current circulars and flyers. It's been vetted through the Board of Health as well as the State Department of Health's food programs. So
Anything in here that might like knock the socks off of any of our food vendors here in town?
I don't believe
that they're
so.
not accustomed
No.
to already?
No, I don't believe so. I think the only thing that we were still parlaying with was the farmer's market folks, depending on whether they're actually a
Food
farmer's
vendors,
market
right.
person or they're just somebody coming in as a food vendor, and
Right.
we're trying to get that cleared up. But no, I believe a lot of it's just that it shows procedurally what we
What
do
we've
in
already been
certain
doing
yeah.
anyway.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Evan? Do we have a?
Do we have an ordinance number? Okay, thank you.
I have, this is.
I'll make a motion, we approve County Ordinance 2023-09.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Motion carries 3-0 to adopt the new Clinton County food ordinance.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Sign it.
Yep. Next item is Liz Stitzel with the area plan update.
Good morning again. Just a couple items. I'm going to start with a continuation of the Moore conversation. And I've got some updated documents for you to look at. So after the last commissioners meeting, as requested, we did go out and post a notice of condemnation on the house on 600 North. And the sheriff's office was kind enough to send a couple deputies out with us, so they also witnessed that posting. I have photographs that I'll hand for you guys to pass through, showing the notice that was posted, and then photographs of where it was posted in front of the house. I will note that, again, your notice was removed, along with its stake. And we did, because we foresaw that problem, make sure that we included in the notice of condemnation the ordinance number stating that you can levy fines if your placard is removed. And I've also included, I'll hand to you, the your ordinance, which, just in case you're not familiar with, which states specifically that the placarding include a statement of penalties for removing the placard, and notes what your first initial penalty is, should you wish to act on that separately from the issue of the house itself. We are past our 10 days. They hit that December 17th. So the other question, the larger one, and I have photographs of what it looks like this morning, the junk and debris that we cited under zoning is still present, and that I believe Bert also mentioned, and the house is unchanged. There has not been an application submitted to the health department for a septic permit. So this remains in the same situation it has been all along. So the question in terms of the house itself would be whether you wish to ask Tom and I to proceed with sending out a request for bids to locate a contractor willing to remove this, or not. That would be the next step. And then separately, if you want to do anything about the notice of condemnation, or if you want us to try to repost it.
Okay, so let's start with that. First one would be
That's the
to,
notice, and these are today's pictures.
So he took it down.
He took it down. This is the clause that tells him he has to leave it up, and there's where we posted it. 2 sheriff's office deputies watched that as well.
That was taken down before 4 o'clock that evening. I went out there for a call, so sometime before I went back live at 4 o'clock that day was down.
Gotcha.
This is the second notice that's been removed, but I would note the first notice was actually a copy of the letter, not a placard. So I would probably argue it wasn't illegal to remove, but this one was.
So we need to take a vote on if we want to move forward with the fines as the ordinance states.
Yes.
I would personally say yes. We have an ordinance for in
Yeah,
place,
it's there
so.
for a reason.
let's-
I agree.
Let's do a motion on issuing the fines as the ordinance.
Yeah, we've been-
You have a range. I think I highlighted it there on the page. I want to say it's between 150 and 250 maybe. It's at the bottom of one of those ordinance pages.
No less than 100, no more than 250.
Correct. So your,
Alright.
a first fine for a single violation, needs to be somewhere in that range. You need to specify what your amount should be for Tom and I to levy.
Well, all
think
of
we're
this
gonna
has been
have
going on a long time, so, we're really just, we just need to do it.
I'll make a motion, we fine Mr. Moore $100 for removing the placarding that we had put up regarding to condemnation of 9472 East, County Road 600 North.
Motion.
And I'm open to, if you guys want to change the fine, I just think we'll have a better luck getting 100 than we will 250 if we get
Exactly
anything
right.
at all.
Well, it goes on as a tax lien if it's not paid. So if he doesn't pay it, the property goes through tax sale and we'll acquire a new owner. Who-
First offense, I think that's fair. Start at
Yep.
the low end, so, all right, motion.
I will second.
Second, motion 3-0. Then the second item was to move forward with the paperwork for condemnation.
Yeah,
Or-
you've
or-
already condemned
Yeah,
it, so it's
bid.
whether you want to
The
call for
bids.
bids, and then if you call for bids, Tom and I'll get that paperwork together and there'll be a date those are due by, and then you'll have to open them and select.
I think
Somebody
that's
to
what
do
we
it.
said at the last meeting,
Yep.
wasn't it? Sometimes I don't remember things very well, but I think,
Doesn't seem like anything's changed, so.
yeah, so I'd say
Just-
go ahead, let's get some bids.
Yep, second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 to move forward with bids. All right. Any other?
Yeah, one other item, Harold, if you'd step up, Harold's brand new, this is our new building inspector and area plan, serving all 5 of our jurisdictions. So I wanted to bring him and introduce him. Yesterday was his first day, so we're in trial by
Awesome.
fire. But this is Harold Clark.
Morning.
Good morning, Harold.
And Harold, County Commissioners. So, and just
Welcome.
wanted you to put a face with a name.
Yeah, glad to have you and look forward to the work you'll be doing. I know
Yeah.
people are excited to have someone back in the position. so.
Glad to have a building inspector. Good luck.
Good. All
So,
right, thank you.
do you have anything else for me?
I do not.
No.
gentlemen.
All right, perfect. Have a
Okay,
great morning.
Thanks. All right, next is Rick Campbell with his general highway update, as well as he has the paperwork from Caterpillar for the 2 leases of the graders, correct?
Yes, we have the paperwork, ready to bring it up there.
Oh, we have copy
We
of
got
it.
it.
Okay.
So,
How about the closeout agreement for community crossings for 2023?
don't have that. I'll need that one. So. Okay. Yep. We'll start with this stuff and then get to your update. So we have the
Lease agreement.
lease agreement, seven-year lease with balloon payments for 2 graders, which we've approved the graders, just needs signature. So entertain a motion.
They're loaders.
Loaders, sorry,
Yeah.
loaders. I
Motion.
apologize.
Motion to approve, the president to sign.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on the loader lease. And then the next item is, we have the community crossings closeout paperwork, which just highlight, I believe if I'm reading it correctly, it came in $18,000 less than the bid
Yes.
on the project, so it did incur some savings there, so.
Once it's signed, it goes back to the state for their approval, and then we're done.
Okay, very good.
Good job, Rick.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the closeout paperwork.
Motion to sign the closeout agreement by the president.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Along those lines, I'll mention it while we're talking about community crossings, but they came out and said there's a pilot program for '24 where the match had been up to $1 million and now it's going to 1.5. There's a couple stipulations in terms of having everything closed out prior to 2022, but I think Rick is kind of looking to trying to take advantage of that and get the
Right.
full 1.5. So, all right, floor is yours, Rick, with an update.
We're back to crack sealing right now. We got the salt boxes, all the salt boxes are in the trucks. They're gonna stay in there until after we get back from the holiday, and so we're all ready to go. So
Okay,
that's what we're doing.
good. Any
No questions.
questions?
No.
All right,
No.
thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
And probably that better. Thank you. All right, moving on to our old business. Last meeting, we adopted our new job descriptions, but we need an ordinance in place for it. So to make it, I guess, more official, we have ordinance 2023-08, which is the adoption of the job descriptions that have been worked on for the last year. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So move.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Next few items are regarding Envoy and pay apps for work. First one is a pay app for the annex, which is in the amount of $219,814.39. It's for development as well as earth moving work over there. Development fees, earth moving work, and I believe there were some items that, interior work that was ordered. So entertain a motion to approve pay app number 2 for the annex.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0. And the second one is for the courthouse. It was for the continued work on the exterior as well as development for use, $205,112.48.
Motion to approve pay app number 2 for the courthouse.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. Then we have one other that did not get on the agenda. It is there's an addendum to the BOT, which is a bill of sale. It just closes out the work done here on the chiller as well as at the jail. So it just needs a signature to say that that work has been completed. So,
Motion to have the president sign.
Second.
okay, motion carries 3-0 on that. Next, we have new business. Our first item is McClurg Street foreclosure. I'll pass it on to Tom a little bit so he can explain what's going on.
This is for the Clerk Street foreclosure.
Les had emailed.
Yeah, so the county is this the one with the houses that we're talking about in reference to some of the properties that the county has, that the county owns? Is that what you're talking about, Jordan?
I think it's.
Oh, this is one Les Burton.
Yeah, Les
Yeah.
sent you, there was a mortgage lien on it that would be much higher than the county's judgment to
Right.
see if we wanted to pursue it or just kind of
Right.
allow it to go through.
Yeah, so the county decided to go ahead and exercise their right to put in a claim for the property. That was, I believe it was for an ambulance service that was unpaid. And so we had Les Burgum go ahead. I had a conflict, so we had Les go ahead and move forward with it, put on the claim. It's going through tax sale. The mortgaging company is more than likely they're definitely going to put a bid on it. Our bids are not going to be anywhere close to it. We're just probably going to waste money if we have Les go and place a bid. So our recommendation, or Les's recommendation, would be, let's not move forward with that and just let it go through tax sale.
Okay.
And that would be my recommendation too.
Okay.
Make the motion that we forego the McClurg Street foreclosure bid and money to secure that property, and the county pass on it.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 to that motion. Okay. Next item, we have two conflict of interest disclosure statements. The first one is for Deputy Sheriff Ryan West. He is also employed by Tip of the Spear LLC. They do emergency vehicle upfitting, which we have emergency vehicles that get upfitting. So he has filled this out to have us sign off on the notice of his conflict of interest in this.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on the conflict. just make sure when, which it's really for the department heads, but if they would go to get this service, we need multiple quotes to approve or have the lowest bid to accept to utilize it. So it'd be helpful if you know that as well, so. Second one is for Andrew Sullivan, who is an EMT at Clinton County EMS. He owns Elite Auto Painting. So he could be doing painting on emergency vehicles or other vehicles. So we have
Motion to approve.
Second.
motion carries 3-0. I'll get them both signed here at the end. So next we have bonds. Just go through them. We have the approval of the public official bonds. Britt Osler for $30,000, Stephanie Harshbarger for $50,000, Ed Kripe for $15,000, Elizabeth Keeney for $15,000, Gina Brett Knocker for $300,000, Rich Kelly for $30,000.
Motion to approve bonds.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 to approve the listed bonds. Department heads. Grace?
Good morning.
Morning, Grace.
I just wanted to thank you for your money from last year for this year to get books rebound, et cetera. I was able to get 13 books. Connor also, he's the fourth generation rebinder for us. And he also started doing it a new way, a more conservation-minded way. I purchased some acid-free boards. This is the original way they used to do it. And so everything, the boards are placed in the front and the back of the book, and everything is bound onto those boards instead of binding them onto the book. Because when that has to be rebound, it's torn off the book. So he worked with me, and we got those rebound. Most of the ones, I had 13 of them. He gave me a little bit of a discount also. He always does that.
We love
And-
discounts.
Yes, I know, so do I. So I was able to get 13 rebound, and all of them had spines that had to be kind of reattached, which means that they were more expensive. And I was able to purchase enough supplies, hopefully conservation, preservation supplies, to last me through next year, because I did not submit a budget to you guys, so I don't have very much money. But he said that he would work with me on the money that I do have. Okay,
Well,
so I
Keep us
just want.
updated.
Pardon me?
I said, keep us updated.
Yes, and since I've been here, we've been able to get 46 books
Pretty impressive.
rebound. So I think that's really good.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much work that really is.
Yeah, so if we can keep doing this, then maybe in a couple, 3, 4, 5 years, we might have them all, the really bad ones, rebound again.
Good.
So, thank you again.
Well,
Well, thanks, Grace. We're lucky to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
okay, next, Renee. Good morning.
Yesterday, Raycom and Motorola were at Frankfort Police, and they were able to get finally our 2 backup positions installed. So I'm excited about that. Get through the holidays, we will start doing some mandatory training, going over there, having procedures in place on if we would ever have to evacuate our building and utilize that over there. So excited to finally get, some of those things
Yeah.
taken care of, and,
Yeah.
I hope we never need it, but it will be a great asset to have, not only if we had to evacuate our building, but if we had something major, we could have 2 additional positions.
Nice to have options.
Yes, absolutely. And then one last thing, last month, the statewide 911 board, every year they review their financials. And we in our statewide 911 board, we have a hold harmless amount that we get each month from the state. And after they review their financials, a lot of times we're able to get an extra distribution. And we did get another extra distribution this year of around 67,000.
Wow.
So that's always
That's
good to
awesome.
have. It's nothing we can count on, but it's always nice, you know,
Sure.
to get those things, so.
Yeah.
Other
Very
than
good.
that, I don't think I have anything.
Okay, great.
All right,
Nice job.
thanks.
Thanks, Renee.
Stephen?
Morning, Stephen.
Morning, I think. I've got the Zoll Master One agreement. Tom looked it over. They agreed to one of the two requests. Do you guys have any further questions on that?
No, I think
I think it's great.
that's, the one that they changed was kind of the main one. It was getting it moved to Indiana, right, jurisdiction,
Arbitrary.
so.
That was the main one.
Yeah, so,
They said they get that request all the time, so.
yeah, so I'm okay with it.
The council's approved the funding for it. Again, to reiterate, this was lengthy discussions between, Britt was the first person I went to, then Alan and Jeff, and then with you guys. So there's been a lot of talk on this. So if you guys have any further questions right now, please let me know.
Nope.
Motion to approve and move forward.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. I just want to share as we wrap up the year that when I interviewed for my position a couple years ago, the emphasis was on recruitment and retention. And I just wanted to share that for the last 6 months, we've been fully staffed. Of course, we still have call-offs and vacation time and stuff that leaves ambulances here and there out of service, but we've been fully staffed for the last 6 months, and I foresee us to be moving into the future. We've got applicants who are requesting their application and resume to be held on file for paramedic positions. We've got EMTs moving forward into paramedics. So I think we're in a really good place right now. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Nice work.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good
Thank
job.
you.
Any other department heads? Okay, seeing none. Nancy, you have anything? Nope. Just wanted to see us this morning. All right, commissioner reports.
I have
Gentlemen?
nothing today.
I don't have anything.
I have a couple things. I'll finish this real quick. So the first one I think, like to thank Britt and Jada for planning the Christmas party, around the county.
Yeah.
It kind of goes, somewhat ungrateful for all the work that goes into it. People aren't appreciative of it, but I know how hard you guys worked, and so I thank you for that. And great food, great venue, and everyone hopefully enjoyed it. So I think they need to be commended for that. The next one I have is I was having a conversation this week on the opioid settlement, and I went back and the question came up, like, how much did Clinton County receive for that settlement? And I went and looked, and the number looked different than from what it was when we kind of touched base on it earlier in the year. And so it actually has increased almost $200,000 over the life of it. And so supposedly, I need to check into it a little bit more, but that number is always changing because they're
fluid.
continuing to get more settlement into it. So
Oh, good.
I think that's exciting that we've been able to put that money to use in the community, and there's going to be more available as we enter 24 and the committee comes with those requests. So I think that's important. The last item I have is, and I know you gentlemen are aware of this, everyone else may not be, but over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we entered the injunctive relief for the commissary and the contracts with the sheriff. And about 10 days ago, it had gone to the Indiana Supreme Court and was denied. So it's kind of the end of the road there. And that was his appeal to it. So that basically means the trial court as well as the appellate court's rulings are upheld and essentially vindicate the whole decision from the beginning to go down that path. And so I think it's important that we put that out there because it was followed for 2.5 years and then it reaches the point of conclusion and there's nothing being spoken about it. So that's all I have for my reports today. We'll move on to claims. We have claims dated December 8th in an amount of $7,154.77. Claims dated December 15th in the amount of $1,375.07. biweekly claims dated December 19th in the amount of $626,770.39, and court claims dated December 19th in the amount of $49,185.12.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0 on the claims. Next, we have payroll from December 1st in the amount of $500,924.93.
Motion to approve payroll.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on payroll. We do not have any minutes to approve. Our next meeting will be December 28th as our wrap-up meeting for the year. With that, wish everyone a Merry Christmas and remember the reason for the season. So with that, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
There you go.
You caught me off guard.
Sorry.
That's all right.